General Dan Kaine describes timeline of Maduro's capture. Rob, if you have that clip, let's start off with the capture and how it was done of Maduro. Go for it, Rob.
At 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time last night, the president ordered the United States military to move forward with this mission. He said to us, and we appreciate it, Mr. President, good luck and Godspeed. And those words were transmitted to the entire joint force. Over the course of the night, aircraft began launching from 20 different bases on land and sea across the Western Hemisphere. In total, more than 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, rotary wing were in the air last night. Thousands and thousands of hours of experience were airborne. Our youngest crew member was 20, and our oldest crew member was 49.
Wow.
And there's simply no match for American military might. As the night began, the helicopters took off with the extraction force, which included law enforcement officers, and began their flight into Venezuela at 100 feet above the water. As they approached Venezuelan shores, the United States began layering different effects provided by Spacecom, Cybercom, and other members of the interagency to create a pathway. Overhead, those forces were protected by aircraft from the United States Marines, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, and the Air National Guard. The force included F-22s, F-35s, F-18s, EA-18s, E-2s, B-1 bombers, and other support aircraft, as well as numerous remotely piloted drones. As the force began to approach Caracas, the Joint Air Component began dismantling and disabling the air defense systems in Venezuela, employing weapons to ensure the safe passage of the helicopters into the target area. The goal of our air component was, and always will be to protect the helicopters and the ground force and get them to the target. And
in other words, guys, over 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, and reconnaissance launched precision strikes on Venezuelan air defenses military sites to throw them off, by the way. And then 201 helicopters of Delta Force reached Maduro's fortified compound, forced face fire. One helicopter hit, but flyable, responded with overwhelming forces. Maduro and wife Celia Flores seized Maduro reportedly, tried fleeing to a safe room but failed. No U.S. fatalities. Minor injuries reported. Extraction completed. 4:20 local time. Maduro couple flown out abroad, helicopter to USS Iwo Jima, then to New York for charges, narco-terrorism. And by the way, if you can show the picture of him getting what he looked like with the his eyes, they had to shut his eyes so he couldn't see where he was going. Look at that right there. That's what he looked like. Drinking water, having his workout suit. Can you imagine middle of the night? And by the way, there's a bunch of different reports. Again, shout out majorly to Delta Force. When you see the amazing work they do and how low-key it was, going in, back door. By the way, do you know they've been working on this project since August? They've been working on this since August.
Rehearsing
CIA.
and everything, right?
Since August, they've been gathering intel to know exactly how to do this, and it was officially done. Tom, I'll come to you first. What was your reaction when you saw this? The markets reacted in a very different way. Some people are saying, I cannot believe you're doing this to Venezuela. We are being involved. We shouldn't be doing this. Rachel Maddow, what are we doing? Why are we now running? And Trump himself, by the way, if you got the clip of Trump, is this the one where he says, come for me, you coward? Rob, is this the one? Yeah, go ahead and play this clip. So he's instigating.
That's my favorite.
Go ahead, Rob.
Aquí lo esperan Miraflores. No se tarde en llegar, cobarde.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your
Don't you just love it? Don't you just love it?
If we're going to be honest,
Pause it.
If we're going to be honest, Tom, I'm going to give it to you. He requested the president to come get him. If he didn't do it, the left would complain at him. They'd be like, well, how dare you ignore a minority? You asked for it, come get it, you got it. Period.
Yeah, Tom, Go
Well,
for it.
the first thing that, you know me, I break down everybody's words very, very carefully. And so I was listening to the general there, and he said we began layering in effects and we began disabling and dismantling the anti-aircraft systems. Supposedly Venezuela, and I dove into this a little bit, but supposedly Venezuela has the China anti-stealth technology. Well, apparently it didn't work. Apparently, it didn't work. The layering effects they're talking about were electronic countermeasures and potentially cyber to create, as they said, the corridor for rotary wing. When you hear them say rotary wing, that's helicopters. And then disabling is cyber or other electronic means. Dismantling is, noise, where you saw the bombs and everything that were hitting any aircraft targets and hitting also their radar installations. And so the layered effects was just tremendous. The more I read about this, and the more you sat back, is that the mainstream media has got a defense analyst out there. I know CNBC has one, but they didn't talk about it. I am reading secondary, tertiary sources like Jane's on armament and everything to say just how amazing it was to go in there, shut everything down. They call it closing their eyes. They say, okay, close their eyes. And that's radar and everything. So that was number one that kind of was very inspiring to me, the way Delta Force did it so well, and the technology that was underneath there that creates this overwhelming multi-layer effect where we basically go in and out. And what was really good that was preserved was the people that Maduro doesn't care about, his own citizens. His own citizens could have been in the middle of a firefight, could have been secondary casualties, but they weren't. They got in, they got their target, got out. The other thing I found very interesting as I went to the political side is it was not lost on me that the rest of the world is upset because they lost a Marxist country and they lost a Marxist leader. That's on the side of the globalists that want the socialist Marxists. They lost one of their guys. And that's their funding. There's a Chinese gentleman that's funding protesters in America. Put Maduro back, put Maduro back. They just took an L. Marxism took an L. They lost one of their guys. Think of it as a monopoly board. They just lost one of their key properties. And
there's a couple clips, Tom.
Those are the two things that I was thinking
Good point.
about.
So there's a couple clips of people being asked who are there for protesting, and I have no clue what to say. But before we go there, Rob, let's go on the clips that you have for the president. Let's start off with this one, and we'll go to the other one, Robin, and Adam, Vinny, I'll come to you guys. Go for it.
Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have. It was dark.
You just layman's terms.
By the way,
Slept it
go
all
back.
the way.
Go back.
I
cannot listen. I have so much respect for people that can hold it together and not laugh. It
Marco?
takes every single one of his abdominal muscles to not laugh right there. Marco Rubio. Look at his face. Go back 5 seconds, Rob. Go back. We have these lights we can turn off. Look at Rubio's face. You know he's looking at friends, and he's getting ready to crack a first play, Rob.
Largely turned off.
Look at him. Look. He looked at somebody that he wants to laugh.
to
He's
a
holding it
certain
together.
Expertise that we have. It was dark.
Okay.
I
So
love
listen, we got to give props to Rubio.
have to.
We have to
Dark
give
and
props.
dangerous,
Okay, so here's him on the phone. Go ahead, Rob.
Incredible job. These men and women that went out there last night, the courage they had, going into an area where, all the lights were turned off. We turned off almost all of the lights in Caracas. I mean, this thing was so organized. And they go into a dark space with machine guns facing them all over the place. And then you hear from a guy that I'd never even heard of him. But you hear from some congressman saying, oh, this is so terrible. We're saving lives. And by the way, the boats, every boat, because that's sort of related to this, every boat that we hit saves 25,000 lives.
I love it. I love how it's being broken down into what they're talking about. Every boat we hit saves 25,000 lives. And by the way, here's some of the protesters. Okay, so check this out. Let's show some of the protesters on how they're reacting to this. Go ahead, Rob.
I love this one.
What brings you out here today? Where I'm organized with the Revolutionary Communists of America. We're out here to say hands off Venezuela, and we unequivocally stand with the people of Venezuela against U.S. imperialist aggression.
What do you think about the people of Venezuela celebrating on the streets?
What
do you think about the people of Venezuela celebrating on the streets today?
I saw images of Venezuelans being bombed after the U.S. bombed Caracas. So I'm not sure what you're talking about, but yeah, I think you should
Can
definitely
you show me the bombings that you're talking about? I didn't see any.
I don't know. I just saw it on Reddit. It was on the front page of
Reddit.
So,
Okay.
I don't know.
But what do you think about the people celebrating? The hundreds of thousands of people that are in the streets celebrating.
I have yet to see it. Can you show me that?
Yeah.
Sure. U.S.
Here,
imperialism.
the people celebrating on the streets here. What do you think about that?
I mean, at the end of the day, I stand with the people of Venezuela against U.S. imperialism. The U.S. has no right to bomb the people of Venezuela. The U.S. has no right to kidnap another.
Go to the other one, Rob. If you
another-
can, the other kid. There's another one that's very funny. The other one I sent you as well. On not that one. There's one. That's the one right there. Go ahead. Watch this one.
What do you know about Nicolás Maduro?
I don't know much, bro.
I don't know, fool.
But I'm here with Central CSO, and we fight against all this with like the Trump administration, ICE, police brutality. So we're just here in support of all that.
Just make a list.
What does Maduro have to do with all that?
I don't know,
bro. But
I don't know, fool. The Dodgers.
I mean, it makes sense. Nicolás Maduro is responsible for almost 8 million people leaving Venezuela.
That's Dodger fans for you.
Like a quarter of the population over the last decade. I mean, he's contributed a lot, right?
Yeah.
Take that hat.
Watch it.
But we just here supporting. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Go Nicolás Maduro. Can we do that? Let's do it. Go. No.
Yeah.
He realized by
What do you
then.
know about Nicolás Maduro?
Okay, Vinny, thoughts?
Well, last year we talked about signal versus noise, and I think the noise of the left is falling on deaf ears. Nobody cares. You know what the signal is? The people of Venezuela. Okay, I have yet to see one Venezuelan, Tommy, one, be like, what are they doing? It's all leftists, white liberal women, and people that are getting paid to do it. And by the way, this noise is paid for by the enemy. Okay, the hands-off Venezuela protest that was happening in New York supporting Maduro was organized by the People's Forum. That's an NGO that received over $20 million from a billionaire who lives in China, FYI, with ties to the CCP. The NGO's primary funding is from Neville Roy Singham. Singham's residence is in Shanghai. His business ties are with the CCP. He attends CCP-related events, and he funds media outlets echoing Chinese state narrative. None of these people know what they're there for. All their signs are bought and paid for. It's the same as the No Kings. It's the same as all that paid and inorganic protesting. It's all horse crap. And the most important, I think, is with everything that happened, China, we talked about this before, was visiting. While this was happening, the day before, Maduro met with Xu Xinqi, I can't even say the name, representative of the Chinese government on Latin American affairs at the Miraflores Palace, where he asked Trump to go come get him. Maduro said, I had a pleasant meeting with this guy, special envoy to President Xi Jinping. We reaffirmed our commitment to strategic relationship that is progressing and strengthening in various areas for building multipolar world and development of peace. Okay? Let's not play games. China is our biggest threat. They're not an adversary. They are our enemy. Look what they did with COVID, zero accountability, and they're laughing in our faces, okay? We have to deal with them, Pat, I think, head on, okay? If not, what's to stop them from doing another COVID or a cyber attack and all that stuff? I think the drugs and all that stuff is a cherry on top, but I think this strategic thing with China, Russia, it's such a great move that I think that he did because now it's ours, okay? And guess what? Yes, we're going to get money from the oil. Good. They're going to make money as well. But why is China and Russia over there? Stay on your own side of the hemisphere. We don't want you, Adam. If you think about it, why are they here? Why are they letting them get close? This is a great move, I think, by President Trump. And if I hear one more person go, we're going to war. He did this attack was in 1 hour. That's an episode of Friends with commercials. In, out. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now America is back.
Friends, yeah.
We're back.
Adam.
Well, F around and find out. Shout out to the U.S. military. Shout out to Delta Force. Wow. We are some gangsters out there. So I'm from Miami. I have so many Venezuelan friends. They're such amazing people. So the happiest people in the world today are Venezuelans. Second to that are the Cubans who understand the struggle of Venezuelans. The cheering going on in Miami, all over Miami, all weekend was profound. This is the biggest on the street protest, parade, excitement since 2021 when there was the Libertad Free Cuba movement, 2021. Since then, the biggest parades since Fidel Castro died in 2016. Because the people of Miami who've had to flee socialism and flee communism understand. Juxtapose that with insane white liberals cheering for Maduro. Imagine how far your head has to be up your ass to be cheering against Donald Trump, against the Venezuelan people, cheering for Maduro. These are the people that shout, "No kings." These are autocrats that have hijacked countries like Venezuela, like Cuba, like Iran, and the people of their country want freedom, libertad. So shout out to Trump, shout out to Pete Hegseth, shout out to Marco Rubio, and major respect
By the way,
to the Venezuelan people.
You know how bad it is when Ana Navarro, who hates Trump, I mean, there's certain people you can tell that literally that cannot stand a person, she would be on that list. But look what she had to do. It was so tough for her to do it that even her dog in her background was upset saying, please don't do it. Okay? Watch her here giving praise to the president. Go forward.
Today, for me, is a good day because Maduro is out. He is a son of a bitch. I hope this sends a message to the other sons of bitches in the region. You may disagree with the way Trump did it, but it's done.
He
there was no way that it was going to end any other way, because once he started bombing boats, and we've bombed boats and alleged drug boats and killed over 115 people. I think Trump thought getting rid of Maduro was going to be easy, and Maduro was going to scare easily. He didn't. It took him doing this. So yeah, he did it without congressional authorization. This was an act of war. All of these things. But it's now done. I think it doesn't escalate from here because the objective of this was to get Maduro out. So
anyway, while you're seeing that, I just wanted to show that. But you know what's my favorite clip out of all of them?
What is it?
Can I tell you what's my favorite clip out of all of them? Because you realize the president said they're running the show right now through the vice president that became the president, who was acting all tough on TV. But behind closed doors, she's following order. And Trump said, I think she is. I've been getting a lot of minutes about people talking about what they want to do with their culture in 2026, going into 2026. And for us, it's very clear. If you want to find out how specific our culture is at Valuetainment, we went from having 9 employees just a couple of years ago to now having nearly 160, 170 employees, full-time employees here on our campus here. Our culture deck is public, available. You can go purchase it to read through it. It tells you exactly how we do everything, how we do our calibration, what we stand for, what we do, what it takes to get promoted here. If you've never had one of these, you can go pick one of these up. Last time we did this, it sold out literally in minutes when it was gone. It's $19.99. Go get it. Read it for yourself. We even went to a company the other day in Arkansas. We were looking at them. Their entire code of honor was pretty much every single thing that we said except for one of them, and they had it in their front lobby. You can obviously go out there and change it up and do it for whatever you want to do with your company, but this could be a way for you to get some ideas for your business going into 2026. So go to vtmerch.com, Rob. We can put the link below as well for people to order. Culture Deck available for anybody to purchase. We'll ship it to you all over the world. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.